This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to yet another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, February 7th, a legendary mark was set that has not been broken in 45 years of trying. I know it is Super Bowl Sunday, but I didn't want to talk about the Super Bowl in 2010 or 2016 because they were both were losses. And I hope that the jinx of February 7th doesn't ruin me today. I'm obviously picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Hopefully, lightning doesn't strike. Bad things don't happen in threes. But anyway, Darryl Sittler is an icon. Born in St. Jacobs in 1950, he played for the Leafs, Flyers, and Red Wings. He was a star junior B player with the Elmira Sugar Kings, and Sittler was sent to the OHA, aka the OHL, to London. He played for London and then was picked 8th overall by the Leafs in the 1970 NHL draft. In 1975, he basically became captain after the Leafs said that Dave Keon should pass the role on. That was one of the catalysts for why Dave Keon would then go on to head to the WHA with the New England Whalers. So the 1970 draft happened. The first pick was a matchup. Well, they had a roulette wheel. Buffalo and Vancouver had a roulette wheel. And basically, if it landed on a certain number, that team would get the number one pick because both Buffalo and Vancouver were coming into the league. The wheel spun and ended on a 1, which meant Vancouver got it. However, Buffalo's new GM, Punch and Black, basically said, no, check again. And Campbell checked it, it said 11. He probably thought it was in Roman numerals, which would have meant 2. But it was 11. So basically that meant that Buffalo got the first pick. And they picked Gilbert Perreault from the Montreal Junior Canadiens. At the time, they were playing in the OHA. Weird how they would have a Montreal team playing in the Ontario Hockey Association with like Kitchener, London, and all of them. It's weird. Fucking weird. But anyway, Gilbert Perreault was doing his job. So Gilbert Perreault would wear that number 11, and he would wear it proudly for Buffalo, be a legend. Vancouver ended up getting the second pick and took Dale Talon, a good defenseman, but basically he became a better golfer. Reggie Leach was picked 3rd by the Boston Bruins. I'm shocked. I know Reggie Leach I thought he was a Flyers draft pick, but no, he was a Boston draft pick, and then they traded him to Philly a while later. He was known for scoring 19 goals in the 1976 playoffs. 4th went to Boston, and they got Rick McLeish, another former Philadelphia Flyer. Boy, the Flyers really got Boston's leftovers. I mean, Boston did come off the Stanley Cup in 1970. It's strange how they got the 3rd and 4th pick. Anyway, Montreal went 5th and took a goalie, Ray Martinek from Flin Flon, the same team as Reggie Leach. My God, Montreal. You make a goaltender pick number 5, and it's that guy, Ray Martinek? He didn't even play. And Montreal already had a crowded crease with Vachon and who was that other guy? Rookie Vachon was in that in 71 for the Habs. Oh, Gump Worsley? It wasn't Gump Worsley. I can't remember. But anyhow, yeah, it was crowded crease. And Ken Dryden would make it crowded heavier. Montreal got the 6th pick and got Chuck Lefley from the Canadian national team. Bad move. And number 7 was Craig Politz from Pittsburgh from Estevan. So Toronto made a very good deal. So anyway, Darryl Sittler was good. As he was in his first season as captain, he scored 41 goals and 59 assists for 100 points, right on the nose. It was the first time in Leafs history someone hit 100 points. And then it happened. 1976. His first season as captain. 1976, there was a lot of heartache, if you will, if you're a Boston Bruins fan. Boston was good, yes, but they put in this unknown goalie by the name of Dave Reese in net. Now, Boston's backup that night was Gary Cheevers, who just came back from the WHA's Cleveland team. But Don Cherry famously claimed that he didn't want to put Cheevers in the net that Saturday night, February 7th, 1976, because he was saving him for the next night in Boston. I can't remember who he faced, but yeah, anyway. But Darryl Sittler was an icon. 6 goals and 4 assists in that one game, 10 points. It was amazing. Let me get the box score here because I want to get more into this. Okay. And then I'll tell you about Sittler's later career. Here we go. Could have went with hockey reference, but yeah. Okay, NHL.com Game Center, 1976. It's amazing how they do it for all these teams. Yeah. If you look at if you could see my screen, it shows all the games that happened, like on February 7th, 1976. Okay, I'm going to check. The Leafs took on Minnesota, California, Buffalo. Philly. Boston was hosting Detroit. Yeah, and Boston crushed Detroit into fine powder. So Toronto won 11-4, getting them to 22 wins, 20 losses, 9 ties, whereas Boston was 32-11-9 after that kerfuffle. So the first period, Sittler got an assist on a Lanny McDonald goal. Okay. And then Ian Turnbull put up a goal from Sittler and Earl Thompson. So Turnbull, who was the subject of another sports catastrophe on this day when he scored 5 goals in one game. Bertel made it 2-1 for the Bruins. Bruins cut it to 2-1. And then Darryl Sittler went to work. Second period, he scored on a goal from Salmi and McDonald. And then Sittler got an assist to Boris Salmi for a power play goal, 4-1. After Bobby Schmaltz made it 4-2. Darryl Sittler scored unassisted, and then he finished up a second period hat trick by scoring from Falquette and Ferguson. I believe that was his third goal. Third goal of the game, and I think he has 3 assists, right? I think so. Yeah, 6 points after that. Boston cut it to 6-3 thanks to Johnny Busick, who was still playing at that time. Wow. George Ferguson scored from Hammerstrom and Garland. That was the only scoring play that Sittler didn't figure in because he wasn't on the ice that time. Then Salming scored on a point shot from McDonald and Sittler to make it 8-3 before Sean Rattel scored again. 20 goals. Nice job. 8-4. However, the third period was all Darryl Sittler. He scored another hat trick. First goal from Salming and Thompson gave him 8 points, which tied him with Rocky Richard for the most points in the NHL game. And then with his goal with 9 minutes of the third period from Earl Thompson, he made it 10-4, and he got the 9th point. Darryl Sittler then scored he was trying to pass the puck, and it banked off Dave Reese and into the net. McDonald got the assist. Toronto wins 11-4. You got to feel bad for Dave Reese because, I mean, the guy freaking was decent, and then all of a sudden, he never played another NHL game after that. Boston never called him up. The other goalie for Boston, I think, at that time was Gilles Gilbert. If memory serves me right. But yeah, he put up 10 points. But that was in the end of 1976. Because Darryl Sittler, when the Flyers and Leafs met in the quarterfinals in 76, as we all know, the Flyers, as you should know, I should say, the Flyers beat the Leafs in 7 games. So, the Leafs were on the ropes down 3-2 at home in Game 6, and Darryl Sittler went off. He scored not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 goals off of Bernie Perron, who was a very good goalie, and won the big game 8-5. Unfortunately, though, they lost Game 7. But, man, off of Bernie Perron, that's iconic. And then 1976 had the Canada Cup in September. You know, Canada, U.S., Russia, Finland, Sweden, and and the Czech Republic. Well, he helped Canada win the Canada Cup by sweeping the Czech Republic, the Czechoslovakia, in the championship, best of 3 final. The Czechs actually shut out Canada during the round robin play 1-0, but Canada pulled ranks. I think Canada beat Russia, if memory serves me right, to get to the final against the Czech Republic. But anyway, the Czechs basically were good. They had 2 very good European goalies, Desorla and Holishek, but Sittler scored the goal. Don Cherry is credited with giving Sittler the winning goal because Cherry told Sittler before overtime, he said that basically Desorla slides out of his net to try to cut down the angle. Like he's too far out of his crease. You should deke him and then score. And yeah, he did that. Sittler remembered that and basically put it past Desorla. And Canada won the Canada Cup. Sittler actually ended up third in NHL scoring in '78 behind Lafleur and Trottier. And that was the year the Leafs actually got to the semifinals for the first time in 11 years. After their quarterfinal win over the Islanders, thanks to Lanny McDonald's Game 7 overtime goal, the Leafs got swept by Montreal in 4 straight, but I know, it's all right. But Sittler had issues, mostly because of Punch Imlach being brought back to the Leafs organization. All that. So after the 1979 year and after the Leafs got embarrassed by Montreal in 4 straight in the quarterfinals, the Leafs management got rid of Roger Neilson. There were 2 good candidates to replace Neilson as coach, Don Cherry and Scotty Bowman. Scotty Bowman, it was shocking, but Bowman decided to leave the Montreal organization after he was pissed off that he wasn't made GM of the team, and it was basically one of Sam Pollock's lapdogs, Irving Grundman, who was the GM. So basically, Bowman decided to leave, and Don Cherry was fired from Boston over that Game 7 debacle in the semifinals against Montreal. Don Cherry was approached first. He had a good contract. Ballard was going to give him a lot of money. However, Cherry actually made a verbal and a handshake agreement with the Colorado Rockies and said he couldn't go back on his word because that's what his mom taught him. So basically, that was it. Maybe Cherry had an inkling about Ballard, but I mean, the Colorado Rockies, I'm surprised they would treat him that way. And the worst part about Don Cherry being part of Colorado was that they were the worst team in the NHL, and they fired him after 1 season. But yeah, it was weird. But anyway, Bowman took the coach and GM job with Buffalo, mostly because he thought Ballard was going to be, interfering. So Ballard went back to his memory bank and got Punch Imlach, who got recently fired from Buffalo. Unfortunately, that would be a bad move because Imlach was trying to use his status to basically make the Leafs of the early '80s into the team of the '60s. Basically, a dynasty, but basically like player movements of the '60s. Mostly, basically, he wanted to install the fact that he was boss and nobody crosses the boss. Of course, Ballard and Imlach had strained relations with Alan Eagleson, who was the player agent of many players. And they both figured that Sittler had too much influence on the team. All that. Imlach said that he would prevent Sittler and Palmetier from appearing on the Hockey Night in Canada International Feature Showdown, which was kind of a skills competition. Among other things. So anyway, Sittler had a no trade clause, so basically Imlach couldn't get rid of him. However, Imlach, after being embarrassed by the fact that the Leafs would not play the Canadian Olympic team in an exhibition before the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, decided, I can't get rid of Sittler, but I'll get rid of Lanny McDonald, basically to try to get at Sittler. So he did. He get it to Colorado. Sittler decided not to be captain anymore. And Ballard said that Sittler won't come back with the Leafs after that act of defiance. However, before the 1980-81 season, Sittler and Ballard were at a news conference and smiling at each other. Sittler will be back at training camp and will get the captain's thing back. Basically, Sittler wanted to talk to Ballard and all that. And Ballard even said that the big problem was Imlach and Eagleson, and basically Sittler was caught in the crossfire. And it also helped that Imlach suffered another massive heart attack. Thankfully, he didn't die, but that really ruined him. And Imlach basically found himself on the outside of the Leafs organization. Sittler didn't really have a good relationship with the Leafs, even though Imlach was basically in poor health and couldn't be part of the team. Sittler said he was willing to waive his no trade clause if he was traded to either Philly or Minnesota. Sittler added a few more teams after that with Buffalo and the Islanders. But Sittler walked out on the Leafs January 1982, saying that he was mentally depressed and all that. 15 days later, he got his wish. He got traded to Philly for Rich Costello, the Hartford Whalers' second-round pick in the 82 draft, which was Peter Hendershek and future considerations, which actually didn't work out. The Leafs didn't really do too much about it. Imlach actually turned down the Flyers' offer in 1980. That would have sent Sittler to Philly for Rick McLeish and Andre Moose DuPont. Rick McLeish, he could have helped the Leafs out. Damn it. And McLeish was drafted in the same draft as Sittler. So he basically spent a couple years with the Flyers. He was going to be named Flyers captain, but Bobby Clark, who was made GM of the Flyers, said that Sittler was traded to Detroit for Murray Craven and Joe Patterson. Sittler was ticked off. He wanted to retire, but he was convinced to stay alive. But basically, the Wings coach didn't give him much time, and he basically just couldn't do it. Sittler was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1989. And in 1991, Cliff Fletcher decided to give Sittler a consultant job with the team. He accepted that offer. So basically, he was back with the Leafs in some capacity. Sittler is an icon, and he'll never be forgotten, especially by fans in Kitchener, even though he played for London in the OHL. Can't really forgive him for that, but whatever. It's not up to me. So anyway, that's Darryl Sittler in a nutshell for you. And yes, I have a signed hockey card of him. So to tell you the story, in 2014, I was still working at Target. I went to Canadian Tire because the local news was advertising this Canada 100 years showcase. It was in the parking lot of the Canadian Tire near my house. Ironically, I work at a Canadian Tire that's in Waterloo, not in Kitchener. But basically, yeah, it was in the parking lot. And so I was engrossed by it. And then it said Darryl Sittler was going to sign autographs on Saturday. That was a Wednesday night, on a Saturday morning. And I said, And then I remembered. I said, wait a minute. Somehow I don't have to work that day. So I'm going to go to it. So I decided to go to Canadian Tire and get Sittler's autograph. Well, the autograph session was for 11 o'clock, but I went at 9:30 because I'm like, well, people are going to be lining up by the bushel loads. But I was the first one there. And I said, well, Sittler signing autographs, 90 minutes. I said, well, then I might as well come back. And I'm like, I'm going to go get some stuff at Shoppers Drug Mart, get some energy drink or something. And wait 90 minutes. I think I would have been in trouble for waiting for that long. But then, I came back like 30 minutes later, and I still was first in line. So I was first in line to get Darryl Sittler's autograph. And it was the best hockey day of my life, in a sense. Because the Leafs haven't won a playoff series since 2004. So, yeah, it's one of the best moments of my life. And it'll always stay with me. The only way I'm going to get rid of my Darryl Sittler autograph card is if I somehow die unexpectedly, and that money, and to sell it, and for my family to sell it so that they can pay down my debts and all that. That's the truth, Ruth. Anyway, I'm Chef Diamond. I do.